Donald Trump says the U.S. and Iran will meet next week for talks on the stalled nuclear deal. That comes as the head of the CIA is now backing up claims from the president that several key Iranian nuclear facilities were destroyed in U.S. strikes and that it'll take the country years to rebuild. Now, an earlier leaked report from U.S. intelligence analysts said the strikes inflicted only a few months' setback. Here's more from the head of the IAEA, Rafael Grossi.
There has been a major military operation. There has also been major damage. So the resumption of activities and the assessment of the duration of the capacity to rebuild will depend on whether the Iranians want to resume where they were.
Well, Donald Trump's Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is giving that press conference today around 2 p.m. French time. We'll be carrying that live for you on France 24. In the meantime, we're going to get a bit more analysis now from our Erin Ogunkeye from the International Affairs Desk. Erin, now here we have this new CIA report that's contradicting Tuesday's leaked report from the Pentagon that suggested the U.S. strikes only set Iran's nuclear program back several months. What does this new intelligence say?
Well, Jeannie, I think it's first important to say it's hard to see the timing of this new intelligence as an accident. You'll recall, of course, yesterday that Donald Trump and other members of his administration spent quite a bit of time at that NATO summit on several occasions, insisting that Iran's nuclear capabilities were completely obliterated. Those are the two words that came back time and time again. They even attacked journalists and press outlets that had reported on that leaked Pentagon report that you mentioned. So coincidence or not, in this new assessment, the director of the CIA, John Ratcliffe, says that the strikes severely damaged Iran's nuclear program and that it'll take years, as you mentioned, for those facilities to be rebuilt. That intelligence is reportedly based on information, as you see in that X post there, from a historically reliable and accurate source method. The New York Times also said that the National Security Agency has been examining intercepted phone communications of Iranians that have been discussing the consequences of the strike. So presumably that intelligence also is a part of this new report. Now, aside from the accuracy of this new report, the elephant in the room, Jeannie, remains what became of the 400 kilograms, that's to say 800 pounds of enriched uranium, though the Trump administration has repeatedly said that it was not moved prior to those U.S. strikes. There is speculation that it probably was moved and could be hidden elsewhere. Even the conservative Wall Street Journal today acknowledged that it's difficult to definitively assess the extent of the damage and the whereabouts of that enriched uranium without giving access to independent monitors and inspectors. So it'll be hard to know, essentially, which intelligence report is more accurate until that happens. In any case, interestingly enough, this new report simply echoes what Iran itself said yesterday, that its facilities were badly damaged. A lot of this, Jeannie, really is semantics between badly damaged, severely damaged, extremely, completely obliterated. The real question is what Iran's objectives are to acquire a nuclear weapon or not, and how quickly it could do so if that is its objective. In the meantime, as you said, Jeannie, Pete Hegseth, who has been reiterating Trump's claims, will hold that press conference today with more information.
And it will be interesting to see what he has to say in that. This does, though, bring to mind some earlier concerns that were evoked about Donald Trump weaponizing U.S. intelligence gathering.
Yeah, Jeannie, the irony is that that's what administration officials actually accused journalists of doing yesterday when they reported on that Pentagon leaked document. They say they're breaking the rules to leak these classified preliminary reports in order to simply make the Trump administration look bad. Now, that claim is precisely what Democrats and other experts and observers were fearing when Donald Trump returned to office. Now, as a reminder, the director of the CIA, John Ratcliffe, is a longtime Trump loyalist. He's got a history of politicizing intelligence. He's a former Republican congressman from Texas and was the director of national intelligence during Donald Trump's first term. He made a name for himself before that by suggesting that Hillary Clinton was the one behind the FBI probe into Donald Trump's campaign connections or possible campaign connections to Russian interference. And then in 2020, the New York Times reported on John Ratcliffe specifically on some of the things that he did that are said to have politicized intelligence gathering. They said that he approved selective declassifications of intelligence to score political points with Republicans and with Donald Trump himself, that he left Democratic lawmakers out of intelligence briefings, that he accused congressional opponents specifically of leaks, and perhaps most pertinent to today, Jeannie, that he made public assertions that contradicted professional intelligence assessments. So that could be what we see happening now. So fast forward to when he was nominated as head of the CIA, there's renewed renewed scrutiny then about how far he's willing to go to legitimize Donald Trump's claims, his attacks and skepticism of intelligence agencies. He, of course, vowed not to politicize his role when he was approved and in his confirmation hearings. But Trump obviously has a history of repudiating and, of course, attacking people who don't repeat his talking points, his sidelining of Tulsi Gabbard being only the latest example of that. As a reminder, when she said that that Iran was not building a nuclear weapon, Trump publicly rebuked her. He said that she was simply wrong, later added that he didn't care what she said and that his view was different. She's since changed her tone, surprise, surprise, but it may be too little, too late, Jeannie, because 4 top national security officials will be briefing lawmakers at a Senate hearing today. Tulsi Gabbard is not invited.
Interesting. All right, Erin, thanks so much for that. We'll be checking back in with you throughout the day here as we get ready for that press conference from the U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth coming up at 2 p.m. French time. Erin, thanks again.